Hey guys, Pretty Boy here. I just wanted to make a video today on how to capture a near perfect Riolu. So, first of all, you have to be in Santaloon City. I recommend that you have Pokemon ready that can actually capture Pokemon very easily because you're going to need it. I'm trying to aim this towards people who are earlier in the game. So this is something you can do very, very early on in the game. I'm not going to use anything that you don't get early on in the game. So I have two Pokemon here. My first Pokemon of choice is a Cubone. It should be easy to capture. They're not hard to find. You can find them very early on in the game, and the best thing about Cubone is you can teach it False Swipe. I taught it False Swipe from a TM, but it can also learn it from leveling up. You just have to get it to, I think, level 28. If you don't have a Cubone or can't find one, you can get a Swalot or he's very easy to get. He's actually a second evolution, though. You don't capture him as a Swalot. You capture him. His first form is very common. I'm sure you've seen him. If you play through the earlier parts of the game, you can easily capture one. I'll show you which Pokemon is his previous evolution, so you can go ahead and capture one yourself. It's right here. His name is Gulpin. He's very common, and he's great for capturing Pokemon because you can teach him Infestation, and you can teach him status-affecting moves like Toxic or Poisoning moves. Yawn. He has Yawn that can put Pokemon to sleep. So you can weaken Pokemon slowly with a Pokemon like that. The only thing is you don't want to level them up too high because you'll end up killing them all. That's what's great about Cubone is False Swipe will not kill them. So first thing you want to do is go to Route 4. And you need to capture yourself a Ralts. But you need to find one that has Synchronize. Because you're going to want to use Synchronize. The great thing about Synchronize is that it actually allows you to basically choose the nature of the Pokemon that you're encountering. It has a 50% chance of whatever Pokemon you encounter will have the same nature as the Ralts has that is using Synchronize. And the great part about it is Ralts only needs to be the first Pokemon in the party. It doesn't even have to be alive. It can be fainted, and you can still find a bunch of Pokemon with the same nature as that Ralts. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find myself a Ralts with Synchronize, hopefully. There we go. So I managed to find a Ralts. Unfortunately, this one has Trace. Did you see how it showed the effects over here of how he used Trace? Well, Trace is his other ability, unfortunately. So this Ralts is not very useful to us, although it is female. So I get it down to 1 HP using my False Swipe. So that's done. Now I can capture it. Now normally you would do this if this Pokemon had Synchronize. But I'm going to capture it anyway just for demonstrational purposes. Now normally you'd want to keep going until you capture a female with Synchronize. It can take some time. Sometimes you're not lucky, like this time around it actually took me a lot of battles just to find any Ralts whatsoever, but I've captured quite a few Ralts in the past, so it's not always that bad, and I did manage to find a female with Synchronize. So I'll just go and demonstrate to you the what you do next. So next thing you're going to want to do is head over to the breeding area. So you're going to have to go through Luminose City. Okay, so Campfire City, or whatever the hell this is called. This is where you want to be. So normally you'd go in your box and you'd grab your Ralts that's female and with Synchronize, and you'd breed it. And this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a bunch of different as long as the female is the one with the ability. There's I think an 80% chance that every egg is going to have that ability as well. So I managed to get basically a Ralts with almost every single different nature, which is what you want. Now, in the case of Riolu, you're probably going to want to Ralts with who's adamant. So in this case, this one. You're also probably gonna want to catch a male waltz that you can breed with the female in order to get a bunch of female waltz with synchronize. Now this is the breeding area. You're gonna want to drop off the male and the female waltz with this lady right here, and then whenever you leave, you're gonna want to walk around for about 250 steps and then come back and talk to this guy. If you still don't have an egg, come back again after 250 steps around and talk to him again. Just keep walking around and talking to him. Eventually you'll get eggs. Hatch your eggs and you will definitely get some females and some males with synchronize. At that point it doesn't matter if they're female or not. You just need Pokemon. You just need a bunch of different waltz with synchronize. Once you have one like this one right here, this one is adamant and it has synchronize. So this is the ideal waltz that you want for a Riolu capture. So I'm going to put him in the first slot. It's important that he's in the first slot. If he's not in the first slot, this is not going to work whatsoever. Okay? Now that you've got him in the first slot, you're going to want to head back, all the way back to Route 22. So that's close to where we caught the Ralts in the first place. Waltz. Oh, it is Ralts. My bad. Through Santaloon City and straight to Route 22. Oh, shit. Okay. Now, you got your Ralts in the first position, and your Cubone or your whatever Pokemon you're using to capture Riolu in the second position. The rest is pretty easy. All you have to do is get in a bunch of battles and find yourself a bunch of Riolus. Now, what's cool about Riolu in this area is that he's guaranteed to have at least 3 perfect EVs because he's a baby Pokemon. Azurill here would also have 3 perfect EVs. If I were to capture that Azurill, there's a 50% chance it would be adamant in nature because I'm using Ralts as my first position. And there's a 100% chance he's going to have at least 3 perfect initial values, IVs. So those are some great odds. It won't take you long to find the Pokemon you want. I actually managed to find myself a Riolu with at least 4 perfect IVs and completely outstanding in IVs altogether. It's okay if your Ralts faints. That's actually better, to be honest with you, because then you don't have to use it anymore, and it's still in the first slot. The effect still works. And there we go. So there's a Riolu right there. There's a 50% chance that it's adamant in nature, which is perfect. All you have to do is capture it. Now these can be hard to capture from time to time, so you might have to weaken it quite a bit. I'm going to get it down to 1 HP. That should do it. Sometimes you can put them to sleep though, and it'll help a lot more. But I should be able to capture it just by using the false swipe and getting it down to 1 HP. So let's give it a try. Okay, see, even that wasn't enough. Like, believe it or not, that was, that's how difficult they can be to capture from time to time. So it's good to have Pokemon who can inflict statuses, like different types of status conditions, without killing the Pokemon. So unfortunately, I've only got Yawn available. I could have used a Butterfree as well. Butterfree is great because you can use Stun Spore, or not Stun Spore, Stun Powder or whatever it's called. You can use Sleeping Powder. Those are great, and they work a lot faster than Yawn, but that's fine. Yawn should do the trick here. So now I just have to wait for him to actually fall asleep. He's already weakened, so as soon as he falls asleep, he shouldn't stand a chance against even just a regular Pokeball. It'll work better if you use a Great Ball, of course, but I'm just going to use Pokeballs for the sake of showing you that you can do it even from an early stage in the game. You don't even need the Great Balls. And there we go. So there's my first Riolu for this demonstration. Alright, now let's take a look at this thing. Okay, so this one's sassy. Unfortunately, this one is not adamant. Let's see if we can find one that's adamant. Like I said, there's a 50% chance. So it will happen where they won't always be the nature that you're looking for. Alright, so here's a Riolu. Let's capture this guy. I got my Ralts recovered, but I'm going to send in Cubone now because I don't need him as my first Pokemon anymore. Alright, False Swipe him down to 1 HP. And of course he uses Counter. It's fine though, Cubone seems to have survived. I'm sending in my Swalot. And I'm going to use Yawn. One more turn should do it. He will fall asleep right after this, and he falls asleep. So now I'm going to go into my bag and grab a Pokeball. Considering it's the last item used, I'm just going to click down there, and it should be no trouble at all to capture this thing. Perfect. Now, as you can see, this one is adamant. So I've caught a total of 2 Riolus so far. One of them is adamant and one of them is sassy. So you can see the 50% chance really does take effect. Now you're going to want to keep doing this, and you're going to want to capture a bunch of adamant Riolu until you're satisfied with their IVs. Now what's cool about it is most of these Riolus are around the same level. They're usually around level 6. Alright, so this is what my box looks like. I caught a few Riolu here. And all you really have to do is compare them and figure out which one you want to use. So out of these, I think the best one is probably one of these 3 right here. They all have perfect attack. They all have 16 attack. Nobody else has that. This one has 15 attack, this one has 12 attack, this one has 15. These 3 have 16, so these likely all have perfect IVs for the attack. They all seem to have the same HP. This one has high. These 2 have higher defense. These 2 are identical. The only issue with these I would have an issue with is the ability again. It's steadfast instead of inner focus. This one is inner focus, but lower HP, lower attack. So you basically just have to figure out whichever one you want and kind of use it, unless you want to breed them and try and get something even better. But yeah, so that's what I recommend. If you're starting out in this game and you just want some Pokemon with really good IVs and you're looking for a good Riolu, I recommend trying to find one that has good speed and good attack, something like that. Maybe who's adamant in nature. Out of these, the one with the most speed is this one right here. So it's ironic that it doesn't have the better attack, unfortunately. But it does have inner focus, so I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Alright guys, thanks for checking out today's video. Don't forget to check out www.thepokemart.com. This should cover basically everything you need to know to catch yourself a perfect or a near perfect Riolu. And if you want, you can actually use those to breed even further and probably get a perfect one. Items you're probably going to want to use to do that: Everstone, so you can save that adamant nature. And of course, probably a Grass Knot. Grass Knot allows you to transfer up to 5 IVs from the parents onto the baby Pokemon. That's good because normally it would only transfer 3. If you can catch yourself 2 Riolus with opposite perfect stats, or both with really good stats, you have a way better chance at transferring some of those, and you can keep breeding until you actually have a perfect one. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. I'm actually probably going to be posting videos on that in the future as well. So you can look forward to that. If you want to actually get the news on that, I really recommend subscribing to our channel, or at least coming back and checking out the Pokemart.com regularly. But yeah, so have yourselves a great day. Good luck with everything, and this is Pretty Boy.